Hey guys, what's up? I'm here with a review of a Japanese mystery drama thriller from 2003. And tonight's movie is Ichi-1, also known as Ichi-Origin. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is the prequel to Takashi Miike's infamous Ichi the Killer. Now, this movie was directed by Takashi Miike, is like one of his right-hand men, one of his co-directors that he's co-directed a few movies with. Really, all I know about this movie is that it's a prequel. It stars the same guy who was Ichi in Ichi the Killer, and it's basically the prequel. It's basically Ichi's backstory, like him in high school, and he encounters a lot of bullies and he gets in fights and stuff like that. So let's hope this is interesting. So the movie opens with a narration over some grainy footage of a boxing match, then credits with a montage of fights, and these fights are between a bully and his gang, Dai and his gang, D-A-I, spelled D-A-I, and his gang just basically beating people up for the hell of it. And you see that Ichi is watching them in the distance, and then this guy shows up and he's late and he has a perm, and his friends make fun of him because he has a perm, and then they go to school. Like right after Dai gets his head bashed with a brick and he's bleeding out of his head, instead of going to the hospital, he goes to school. So they all go to school on the same moped, and they're just like riding, like leaning on the sides, like swaying back and forth, smiling at the camera, and it's a very, very laughable scene. Now that the Three Stooges are at school, they're eating lunch and hanging out, and Ichi encounters the bodies of Dai's victims. While Dai and his friends walk around the school, they finally encounter Ichi, who for some reason carries around raw meat in a bag. Ichi gets away from them, and then there's another scene with boxing, and it's actually Dai's two lackeys kind of playing a boxing game in an arcade. Dai claims that every time he fights, Ichi shows up, hides in the distance, and watches him and laughs. As it turns out, Ichi also takes karate classes in a dojo for children. That's not creepy at all. Ichi goes to the arcade and uses one of those kind of punching bag things that measure your the force you can punch, and he gets the 86th highest score. He goes to a video store and rents some movies, and then it turns out that one of Dai's lackeys only watches the part 3 in a series of films. Like, he rents Amityville Horror Part 3 and The Godfather Part 3 from the video store, and he claims that he doesn't watch the first 2 parts of any movie series. He only watches Part 3, which I thought was kind of funny. Then Ichi comes across these guys who are harassing this girl, and he kind of tries to stop them, but Dai shows up and ends up saving the day. So, Ichi-1, very interesting film, but it is vastly different from Ichi the Killer. It's still a unique film in its own way. It's made on a low budget, and it's not as crazy or confusing or entertaining or as violent or sickening as its predecessor. The film still manages to be really entertaining. The acting in the film is pretty decent, along with the writing. Honestly, I think the show stealers in this film are the are the very weird, kind of entertaining characters and the fight scenes in the film. Excuse me. The camera work is like very, very average, but it's done in a way that makes it almost seem like it's really good, but it's actually just kind of amateurish. I'm not saying this camera work is bad, because I really liked the way it was done. It's just hard to describe. Same with the visual style this film has. It's like a combination between the visual style in Dead Girl, how it's very diluted kind of colors, very kind of dark diluted colors. But at the same time, it's like a combination with Tokyo Gore Police. How Tokyo Gore Police has that very crisp, like, digital look to it. Very crisp, bright, digital look. The movie's lighting is also really good. Same with the effects, and the music is probably the shining star among everything. It's probably the best thing in this film. On the Gourmet from 1 to 10, 1 being something like The Corpse Grinders, and 10 being something like Brain Dead, Ichi-1 is probably a 2. It really isn't that violent at all. Like, this is like, I want to say maybe PG-13 level violent. If it wasn't for like maybe 1 or 2 scenes. I can't really suggest this to anybody who really likes Miike's version of Ichi the Killer. But if you like martial arts films, I definitely say this is one worth watching. It's really, really cool. It's nothing, you know, amazing. It is not Ichi the Killer. It's not better than Ichi the Killer. But it's a worthy kind of prequel. If you watch this one and then Ichi the Killer, they kind of work together because you know. Like Ichi's backstory, it kind of gets progressively more violent as his life goes on. So I guess that's how it would work with the movies. Anyway, guys, I give this one a 3.5 out of 5. Anyway, guys, I'm BiscuitBoo69. The links to the Facebook page, Twitter, Tumblr, all of that, and Rotten Cotton t-shirts, where I get my horror film and exploitation film t-shirts. All those links are in the description below. Be sure to check them out. I'm signing off. Peace.